Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Probably going to get some rain today, looks like. Another cool down. You know, this past week we had a taste of summer again. We were back up into the 90s and it's supposed to start cooling back off into fall-like temperatures. Today being the first day of fall, so cloudy and just think we'll probably get some rain today. This coming Sunday, next Sunday, the 29th, is our big meeting, monthly meeting. So if you are able to come to that, please do. Same time, same place, as always. Should be a good one. Now, we only have this meeting and next month's meeting, and then we're done with meetings for the year. We will have a big kind of family type dinner around Thanksgiving. It won't be on Thanksgiving, but it'll be around Thanksgiving. And then we take the month of December off for our meetings. So if you haven't been this year, if you haven't been in a while, this month and next month, and then we're done with our big monthly meetings for the year. But it's this Sunday, the 29th. Same time, same place. If you're new and you'd like to come to it the first time, send me an email and I'll get back with you. So that's the big news here on the local front. Well, I mean, if you've kept up at all, even a little bit, at looking at what's going on in the news, you probably are very well aware that this war against Hezbollah, Israel and Hezbollah, looks like it is in full swing. There's no ground troops yet involved in it, but some significant increases since the whole pager, exploding in radios and cell phones and toilets and everything else. Major explosion in Lebanon, Beirut. I don't know if any of you saw that. Most of you probably have. It looked quite large. A lot of people online were speculating that it was maybe a tactical nuke. It did not look like that at all to me, but it did look like a very large conventional munition that went off. So, I mean, it's getting more and more heated. Rockets and missiles being fired from Lebanon into Israel. Some of them are, getting through the Iron Dome. Things are escalating there, and Israel is indicating that it's not really even started yet, that things are going to escalate even further. Troops in Iran and a few other places are starting to gather in Syria to possibly go in to defend Lebanon in ground wars. But, we'll wait and see what that happens. But things are definitely escalating there. Same thing in Russia, Ukraine. Ukraine struck Russia again. Looked like another munitions depot. Some very, very large explosions going on there. Things are just constantly heating in that area. As far as here in the United States, it's kind of much of the same. I mean, there's some recent videos in the last few days of more illegals pouring through the southern border. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're all either African or Indian. It seems to be here lately. And I don't know that this is the case for all of the people coming across the border, but the majority of the videos of people crossing the border illegally seem to be African and Indian. So there's that. In other news, and I'm only mentioning this because there is significance there, even though I know most of you have already lost interest in, Joe Biden being the president, and probably have for a long time. But did you see that, number one, Joe Biden had the first cabinet meeting in 11 months. Now, you could say, I didn't go and do any research, so I'm not sure how often it is standard for a president to have a cabinet meeting. But based on, what we generally might think or know, and, comparing that to business and stuff, I would think you would be having cabinet meetings at least, weekly, a few times a month at least. I mean, I would be almost pushing to have most of them daily for the most part. But anyways, 11 months it's been since he's had a cabinet meeting. And so he finally has a cabinet meeting, and Jill, his wife, Jill Biden, not Joe, Jill, the doctor, Dr. Biden, Dr. Biden. That's what we should respect her degree and title, Dr. Biden. Chaired and headed that cabinet meeting. She was sitting at the head of the table and was in charge. And the thing that I was thinking about with this, because I know that's not it's not a huge shock, right? That Joe Biden is not running the country, that he hasn't been running the country for a long time, if maybe even since the beginning. His campaign, remember, he stayed in the basement the whole time. And then now we've got Kamala, who is, not doing press conference stuff. She's not doing real interviews. I guess she did a little interview thing with Oprah Winfrey, and now they're saying, it was mostly staged. She had a teleprompter and everything. The debate, there's all this, that she had the questions ahead of time and had a little thing in her ear. So it's all faked. And I want to bring all this up because I think that we've become too conditioned to just accept that that's just the way it is, right? I mean, we don't like it, right? We all make fun of it. There's the memes out there. There's all the comments out there about how fake it is. But we just kind of, that's just normal, right? But I want you to think about this. We are seeing a precedent be set that the presidency is just, it's nothing. It's meaningless, right? I mean, when Trump was in office, much more of a real presidency, right? But his hands were tied whether he wanted to do things or not, because the system, the government, they prevented him from doing so many things. And so we're seeing something being set up that here in America, the presidency is a meaningless position. And yet it is where all of the money and the attention and the energy is pushed towards. Everyone's really focused on, we've got to get this person or that person elected, when in the end, it doesn't really matter. And I know that many of you are going to hate on me and argue with me and tell me that I'm discouraging people from voting. If someone's going to vote, they're going to vote. All right. I mean, right now, especially anyone that watches my channel, do any of you really believe that if someone is planning on voting, do you think that anyone that would be watching this channel does not know who they're going to vote for? Come on. I'm not discouraging voting, but as voters, we have an obligation to hold our leadership accountable, and to be not just the leadership, but the whole system. And this thing of just loving someone so much, a politician so much, that you don't see the faults, that's wrong. But thinking that the system is still functioning, believing that it's all still functioning as normal. We are in a place now that, whoever is elected, you could elect anyone as president, and they have no power. It could be a completely fake presidency. The whole election process, the voting, the backdrops where they're sitting in the White House. I mean, we've all lived through this for the last 4 years. And where's the leadership? Who's really leading? I know we have all these conspiracy theories of who's actually running it, whether it's Obama or Soros or someone else. But the point is that when we talk about a country collapsing, when we talk about it just not being what it once was, the America that once was, this has got to be at the top of that list, where the most prominent position, the top position in our government is a fake job. It's a fake person, fake candidacies, fake elections. And we have to start thinking about this and realizing that this is one of the most important examples that America is done, unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say that. And, when you can have an election that is just, it's all filled with just fakeness. And you could, people make an argument that it's the same level of fakeness on Trump's side. I'm not saying that necessarily. There has been things that are quite suspicious, The ear heals real fast. I mean, there's strangeness. And I have always advocated that as much as you might like a political candidate, we have an obligation to ourselves, to our families, to our country, and most importantly to God to be able to step back and objectively see things that might be happening, and maybe still choose to vote for a particular person, but also know that the system is collapsing. The system of electing an official, that it's all fake, and we're just sitting here. I mean, it's almost like the Truman Show or something like that, where everyone's believing that this is what's happening, that this is how government is working, that this is the process of the machine of government, when the reality is that's not it at all. And I think when I see this kind of stuff happening, Dr. Biden running the cabinet, and Kamala Harris not actually running a campaign, and things that even Trump says. There's been a lot of things here lately that he's made campaign promises, and everyone loves it, except no one's ever stopped to say, the president does not have that authority. Like, that's not within the president's authority. So, or even the federal government, some of this stuff, it's like that, even if he compels Congress, that's not within the scope of federal government. So the national level government. So you'd be violating the Constitution by enforcing that. No one really stops to think about that kind of stuff anymore. And because we're just so blinded, it's like sports, it's like a, sports, your football, your basketball, whatever it is, that, you love your team, no matter if they're good or bad, you just love them. Right. And that's what we're seeing. And we've been seeing that happen for decades, but it's gotten much worse. We need to be aware of that. And, again, it's just one more sign that we are in a really, really bad place, which to me tells me that the future is something that we need to prepare for. It's not going to be a good one. However this election turns out, I think that the nation is headed for a destructive path. And we need to start prepping up hardcore, serious, big time, making sacrifices if necessary, because it's time to get our houses in order, folks, and prepare ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, because the stuff that's coming at us, I think it's going to be way, way, way worse than what we've seen so far. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.